It's very nice for me to be here because it's a long-term project, long time in the DLMS world. And also long time, not so long, but since the beginning in the LoRa Alliance world. So you know all what about LoRaWAN? LoRaWAN, a perfect tool for IoT. But maybe you don't know DLMS COSM. DLMS COSM is a perfect tool when you are thinking of metering for utilities. So there was an interest in mixing the both worlds. It's how to adapt DLMS to go to IoT. So the best fit was we need to go with LoRaWAN solution. So it's not so easy because DLMS is something heavily standardized because, you know, utility loves a standardized solution because we want things that could last very, very long and also to be able to replace all the parts of the system. So what happened? It was, I think, in 2018, technical discussion and trying to explain how we can go. And we were able to sign a liaison, so I was responsible for the liaison for LoRa Alliance. And we worked alone to explain what were the advantage, to do also some demos to engage everybody on this domain. And then continue to work on the specification. And the specification for the DLMS user association is called colored book, the blue book and the green book. But there was something that was missing between the LoRaWAN and the DLMS. And I will say the magic thing is that we found another standard to fill the gap. So if we go from the bottom to the top, so you know all this today, you spend a lot of time with a lot of talk about LoRaWAN and all the advantages. So you can find all the standard about LoRaWAN, especially technical specification number 10, that is dealing with how to adapt LoRaWAN to IPv6. And on top of that, when you are speaking about IP, the guy you want to work with is the IETF. So we were able to convince the IETF to start a working group, which is co-chaired by Alex, to say, well, you are the guy from IP. You need to find a solution for us, how we can map IP to the LoRaWAN. It leads to two famous RFC that are shown here. And so we have a standardized part at the middle, on top of what we were able to put DLMS COSM. So it seems very easy to see this small blue, red, and yellow things that goes together. But in fact, it takes a very long time for us. And it's still at the end. So we are working to finalize at the moment the standardization. So if you want to go further on this domain, you have to discuss with the two organizations. So if you want to get info on the DLMS COSM, the green book and the blue book, you have to go to the DLMS UA. And if you want to know how to adapt this to LoRaWAN, you can find the technical specification on the LoRaWAN site. Thank you. And I will leave the floor to our people from Brazil.
First of all, I gonna thanks you all for being here today. My name is Gabriel Santos. I am engineer. I to talk about research project implemented in Brazil, and project with a research project implemented in Brazil with LoRa communication technology and LoRaWAN protocol. Who we are? Equatorial Group. We operate in all segments of electric sector. Equatorial Group is located both in the north and in the south on Brazil. Currently around one people are server and are server, and we presenting 24% national territory on Brazil. And we operate in segment of electric sector, distribution, transmission, and energy renewable. System composite of network interface card, telecom network, and software, MDC, MDM, coupled and meet the Equatorial Group with smart meter and smart grid. This is illustration, and this is illustration about the deployed in the rear. We built and communication meter with several smart meter and several manufacturers adapting the form and different protocol and the hard server several manufacturers. We built communication towers, and with you on the device in American Tower, and database and support 1,000 devices, built and headend system in meter data collection, emitting the views and energy reads, voltage, and electric current in the court and reconnect devices. Deliverable deployed installation 10,000 network interface card in smart meter integration LoRaWAN network and SAP commercial system. I first LoRaWAN network in America Latina and capable in capital city São Luís, Maranhão in 2016. And I first DLMS over LoRaWAN deployment Here with KPIs and with KPIs, relative mitigation, decrement em investimento em clientes with difficulty access, IME network capex, commercial loss, and with KPIs, visual and projects. Now, Professor Rogerio.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. We start this project. Actually, we put in the last page the first DLMS over LoRaWAN, but nowadays because we start 2016. 2016, there is no standardization for LoRa lines yet, and we are deployed right now. I will work with Alexander with Acklio. Please help us because we are almost there, and we want to put our solution in the standardization for LoRaWAN. But we are here to share some experience we have with LoRaWAN, with LoRaWAN and smart metering, because we did a great job in Brazil. We set up towers, to more than 20 towers in a city. I think it was the first network in Latin America. And here is some application we have. We have, for example, the LMS communication with smart meters. We can measure all the readings, power, energy, which parameters the meter has. We can come into our software. And we have, for example, in Brazil, there is some qualities requirements from the national agencies, the DRP and DRC. We can get it all. And also we have, for example, photo multicast over the LoRaWAN. That one, we follow the specification of LoRaWAN. And tomorrow at EverNet booth, we will show a real-time photo multicast happen there. Go there, please, 1:30. And of course, LoRaWAN, when we start with LoRaWAN, that is the coverage, it's not too good. So we put an interface, a network interface contingents use Bluetooth. With Bluetooth, if, for example, some gateways go down, you can access directly the meter and, for example, get the readings or connect someone. In Brazil, we have a particular type of meter, that one in the top, the collective smart meter, because it's a way to fight against the commercial loss, because some people stolen the energy, and they are group 12 until 12 meters, and you can control everything. You have a main project in one entire city in São Luís, actually close to São Luís. São Luís is the city with Equatorial headquarters. And as Gabriel said, we have several kinds of smart meters, because as the LMS is the standardization, we have integration with a lot of smart meters. And for example, we have here just to show one screenshot of our software. This is the screenshot of the photo multicast, and we follow all the steps for LoRaWAN and LMS standardization. Tomorrow I'm going to show to you in a real time. Please go there. And we made this in São Luís a kind of one and a half years ago. And this is our first architecture. Again, we start in 2016, but nowadays I have Vincent show us a great standardization, and nowadays we are on the line on my R&D team to develop and to deliver to the market the solution right now. And it's what we do. We make a MDC, a software to collect energy. We did, for example, a smart network interface card, And we start with LoRaWAN and with this project in 2016. We even was responsible to create the towers, the network. It's hard work. We did everything from one point to another. So this is our first architecture. We follow the green book, and now we are working the blue book to follow the new standardization. And this is some pictures we have here. We did a real work integration with some factories in Brazil. As you can see, some smart meter factory. We are testing a solution before go to the field. We do a great job in Brazil, and I invite you to visit us to see by yourself. And here are the pictures on fields, the electricians install. Oh, we also measure some transformers with LoRaWAN. Yeah, and actually it's not the main thing of this presentation, but we plug also a lot of sensors use LoRaWAN, like a cutoff sensor, a cutoff fuse sensor. And this is some pictures about your work in the São Luís city. This is, for example, the collective meter, yeah, installation with LoRaWAN, and that one that's Gabriel close to some SMC. We call SMC because centralize the meters. And for example, this is a training because we train many teams, many electricians to go to their work. Oh, this is the indication of the communication. It's okay. We have a team to guarantee the communication. It's okay on the field. So we have the solution well deployed and working well on this. And so Luis and Gabriel share with us some KPIs, some incredible KPIs, I think. And then thank you everyone to be here to listen up. And now I will call my friend Alexander.
So, hello everyone. My name is Alexander Pelov, and I'm going to present Acklio. So, and afterwards we have also our friends from KAIFA that are going to be presenting. So I'll try to be brief because they recorded their video. So just a short ID card of Acklio and what we do. So we are a spin-off of one of the biggest engineering schools in France, and we've been working on this technology since 2013, which is today actually an international standard. So it has been recognized and it has been published as a standard at the IETF, so several standards at the IETF, at the LoRa Alliance, at the DLMS User Association. So what we provide in our company, it's a software. So it's the part that goes in the communication module, and then the part that goes into the network. And we are actually very active, and we are a driving force behind that standardization. So I'm a co-chair at the IETF LP1 working group, and also I'm working at the DLMS UA as the qualification working group chairman. So we have this huge research, more than 20 years of R&D that went into that innovation, which is now part of the standard, and which shows how to bring IP in a very, very efficient way over LoRaWAN, and to open all these beautiful use cases. The first one being DLMS, to the LoRaWAN ecosystem. And that's really important because, as Rogerio said, they have been working on that project since 2016. So they didn't have any choice, but they saw the benefit. Equatorial, they saw the benefit, and you see some amazing KPIs that are out there from that real deployment, right? But when you need to go from 10,000 to 1 million or to 10 million meters deployed, then you need all this standardization that goes on, because the utilities, they are companies that require this, this process. So I'm desperately trying to switch to the next slide. because I know that you have already learned this one by hand. So this is the win. So I'm here. We have already seen this slide. I'm not going to stop too much of it, but what it really shows is this part, you know, the SHIC, the compression and fragmentation technology. So bringing IP in a super efficient way to LoRaWAN. And this is what happened, right? So it is now, there are multiple standards on that. I'm not going to stop to talk about too much about it. And what I'm just going to point here is that basically you need two pieces of software. One piece of software that goes in the communication module or in your device, and another piece of software that goes behind your LNS. And you know, you don't touch your LoRaWAN deployment. You just have this beautiful adaptation that allows you to run a vertical application such as DLMS on a LoRaWAN network, and then get the benefits out of both worlds. And I'm going to finish with this slide. It is so we're really proud to to have been very active during the creation of this standard, and Vincent here from EDF has also always been a main actor in that standardization, but many people from the ecosystem, like it's more than 300 companies that worked on that standardization, right? So today there is a developer program that is available to anyone. You can go, you can register, it's free. And then you have access to the cloud platform, so up to 50 devices free for any kind of use. You have the library that you can use with many pre-installed communication modules and devices. You have open source examples, so that you can have actually running DLMS end-to-end just by following this very beautiful documentation, and you can be completely autonomous with that. So I would like to end this point with this LoRaWAN, which is one of the most important radio technologies, communication technologies that has been created in the past decade, like the past 15 years. So there was this first wave of devices that was deployed, and that is going to be continuing to be deployed, right? But the next big wave of these devices are actually going to be IP based, and what all this environment, all the ecosystem did was bring IP to LoRaWAN. So now everything is here, and you can just start using it. And we'll be very happy to work with Rogerio and all the partners here that would like to run in a very efficient and standardized way DLMS to the LoRaWAN market. So thank you.
The video.
Congrats.
Hi everyone, my name is Ya Chen from Shenzhen KAIFA, China. Due to the local restrictions on COVID-19, I can't visit the event physically, so I would like to take this chance to share a story regarding LoRaWAN and smart meters with you online. Although utilities have been able to employ connectivity technologies for at least 2 decades, the technologies available have not been optimal for interoperability or affordability for every application. Based on more than 20 years experience and over 80 million smart meters deployed around the world, as a veteran solution provider of smart meters, KAIFA took the lead in applying DMS over LoRaWAN into smart electricity meters and deployed unified management of water meters and electricity meters. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Ya Chen, Vice Product Director in KAIFA. I have been working for KAIFA for over 10 years. My KAIFA career started from Netherlands. Later, I managed the projects in Norway, in Austria, Italy, and Saudi Arabia recently. My background is software, communication, security, and system integration. My presentation will be in 4 parts. The evolution of LoRaWAN in KAIFA, the solution architecture in KAIFA, the case study, and the future of development in KAIFA. KAIFA has used LoRa technologies long ago. About 10 years ago, we had a project in Uzbekistan where we deployed more than 300,000 meters using LoRa technology. We benefit a lot from the unique modulation, the built-in security, and the high penetration from LoRa. The collection rate in that country is almost 100%. However, our solution is customized solution. It is not open and can't be used regarding interoperability. So, since 2019, KAIFA started to develop the LoRaWAN implementation in water meters. Later on, we find the LoRaWAN doesn't have IP-based communications and do not support DMS COSM, and it has limited payload, which really restricted in electricity meters. On 2020, we are inspired and worked together by Acklio. They offered the SEC layer, and it really empower the LoRaWAN capability. It supports IPv6, it supports DMS COSM, and eventually it increases the useful payload. This year, we also introduced our dedicated network management solution to have end-to-end solution for LoRaWAN. It can manage network parameters, and it can take quick diagnosis and create new applications in IoT industry. Our LoRaWAN solution in smart metering is end-to-end. With SEC provided by Acklio, we can offer LoRaWAN communication module, gateway, network server, SEC server, or gateway from Acklio, and the backend system, including head-end system and MDMS. In short, KAIFA's solution architecture covers every piece of LoRaWAN. Because we made the decision of employing SEC provided by Acklio, we had the first project deployment in Ivory Coast, West Africa. Ivory Coast is fast-growing developing country. People there are building their infrastructure day and night, in particular electricity grid. They require affordable solution to ensure the revenue production in the grid. On one hand, prepayment is employed. On another hand, the remote communication is also needed for now and the future. From this slide, you can see in the left, these pictures show the background of electricity meter installation, also the water meter installation. The installation place for the electricity meter is complex and unfriendly. We face tempering loss in the field in the urban area. So we tried PLC network, and a lot of cross-talking and noises interference are met. In a rural area, the far away meters are always there. So the performance of the PLC is impacted heavily, and also the cost for the utility is huge. For water meter, the installation environment is also unfriendly. We face leakage in the field for the water network. And the meters are installed far away from the gateway. Because of these limitations and the previous projects, including the G3 PLC installations and the proprietary IF solutions, neither of these solutions can solve all the issues in the field. So the customers, together with KAIFA, decided to try the LoRaWAN solution. In this slide, we can see from left until the right, these participants, including the customers, so to say CIE, the meter suppliers from KAIFA, gateway suppliers from another company, Acklio, and KAIFA's hidden system interfacing with other third-party systems. So from this project, we want to achieve several goals. The first one is to test the LoRaWAN performance in the field in a different setup, different environment scenarios. On another hand, the second goal is to ensure kind of interoperability among these suppliers. The third goal, or the third stage, we also introduce other suppliers for the meters for the gateways to realize the final interoperability. The main features in this pilot is we tried DMS over LoRaWAN, and the collections use push and pull. And we try to unify one gateway communicating with both water meter and the electricity meters. The result for the time being is quite impressive and promising. We have already taken advantages of easy installations and commissions. And the mixed solution improves the data connection. The communication distance is longer than 3 kilometers. And the real-time notification reduces non-technical loss. In all, this solution reduces the utility OPEX. Because of this success, KAIFA's LoRaWAN deployment is also spreading across the globe. We started from Ivory Coast, and we also had several pilots in Bolivia, Chile, Brazil, Indonesia, Philippines. In these countries, we not only try electricity meter, but also tried gas meter, water meters. So the performance feedback so far from different countries are good enough to make the customer happy. And in the near future, these countries will have more LoRaWAN deployment. This success really inspired KAIFA, and we will build more applications based on LoRaWAN. Electricity meter, water meter, and gas meter are just the beginning. We will expand the use of LoRaWAN into EV charger and various IoT sensors. These new applications will make the IoT affordable. Thank you very much.
Look to be crystal clear. So maybe we can have Alex. Would you say something about what is currently the state of standardization?
Yes. So thank you, Vincent. Can you hear me like this? Or like this? Okay. So yeah, we've spoken a lot about these non-technical losses that are addressed, around the world, and so I profit from that point is to say that around the world there are more than $100 billion of non-technical losses per year that are occurring. So this is the market which we are aiming to solve globally, and this is why it's extremely important that we have these standard-based solutions that come from DLMS, from LoRaWAN, which is right now an ISO standard as well, and from SHIC, the IPv6 over LoRaWAN. So we have this perfect standard, open standard stack that is out there. So anyone can go and build a solution, right? And the state of standardization is, so the work at the IETF is completely finished. The work at the LoRa Alliance for the technical specification is completely finished. And right now we are wrapping up the certification part of the SHIC over LoRaWAN. And the DLMS work is already finished on the specification side. And there is the final work on the certification. And this will happen in the next couple of months, and that's of particular importance, right? You have very few, if any, complete stacks that are able to be certified. To have a solution, a meter that is certified from the metering part, the packaging, and the communication part, end to end. And when you're talking about tens of millions or hundreds of millions of meters to be deployed, you really do need this type of level of, of certainty for the utilities that they can commit, to this type of deployments. So all the technical work is done. We have these final touches on the certification part, and they'll be wrapped up in the following months. Thank you.
And so on your side, in Brazil, how do you see the future of LoRaWAN over DLMS over LoRaWAN?
So, as we work since 2016, nowadays We are looking for standardization because the numbers need to increase because the KPIs response by themselves. Because as you said, the law, the commercial, the non-commercial laws, but you also can compare it with another technology, because in Brazil we have this number, the real numbers, the numbers that Equatorial shows today. It's the real numbers. We have a lot of reduce, and that means millions of reais and dollars and euros or whatever. Instead, of course, and you can add the commercial laws benefits as well. So we are looking for the institutionalization to scale up the technology around the country.
Okay. So thank you for all. Thank you especially for the Brazilian colleague going from a long place.
Yes.
And so if you have no question, I think we're going to finish this session now.
That's okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.